What's up, Clanimals? I'm going to make another quick video here. I may even make one more with some base alterations I think we should make, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to talk about funneling a little bit, because I know we have a lot of trouble with it, especially at Town Hall 9. Our troops kind of wander from us occasionally because we don't always break lines of trash buildings that happen. I've seen it happen in Town Hall 8 too, sometimes with Dragon Raids, sometimes just, with a Go Wipe or something. And I think maybe if I give you a few strategies for funneling, I think that could be helpful for us all. So we're going to do that. First one we're going to look at, I'm going to kind of pick on Chang here because he had a couple right in a row that he did funnel properly. So it's funny because Chang just hates himself for it, and that makes it so much better, kind of. So let's look at this one from this war, these Albanian fuckers. I'll kind of give you a brief overview of what this strategy was, and you can see his, his troop composition down there, so that shouldn't be a problem. But the idea was to send a couple, I think 4 loons here at this mortar to get the lure, to kill the mortar. At that point, he was going to pull out here with an anchor, drop all of those goodies, kill squad, witches, archer queen, all that jazz. Kill the opposing clan castle. At that point, he was going to drop a golem here to bang on this wall. He was going to wall breaker here, so the golem then comes back over here. Actually, he was going to drop 2 golems here, and then they were both going to come back through this wall, start beating on this, get the attention of this archer queen, drop his king, couple wizzies maybe, anything else he has left. Hopefully the kill squad was going to follow in. And then trip all these giant bombs, kill these defenses, kill the heroes. And once the queen went down, Chang is going to send, or wanted to send, hogs. He only brought, he brought 20 or so, and he was going to send them here, allow them to path around, bounce around the base, come back out the other side, safe from all these giant bomb spots in here. Because even though we knew where they were from Tyler, they were just, it's too hard to avoid them all with all of this. Okay, this is a base called, the design is called the Southern Teaser, so they make the north look impenetrable. And it, for all intents and purposes, pretty much is. Too hard to get into, and so much open space down here. If you think, well, maybe if I just bring a couple golems, I'll come in from the south. But that's exactly what they want you to do. You can't attack Southern Teasers from the south, just for the record, guys. So Chang tries to avoid that. He tries to come around here, do some special hogging, drop out on the other end, meet his kill squad, who's been taking a lot of fire, in the middle. That doesn't actually work because he doesn't funnel. Not funneling blew up his whole raid. It was that simple. He did everything else perfectly, but he didn't funnel, so he didn't kill the queen, he didn't trip some giant bombs, he didn't kill the defenses he needed to kill, so his hogs went haywire, and they just got crushed, and he ended up with a 49% no star. Just kind of to show the importance of luring, I thought this was a pretty good example. So if I'm looking at this base to attack, if you can see this side here, here's what I know. I know that my kill squad's coming over here. There are no trash buildings up here outside the walls, right? 0 trash buildings here. So if you have troops that are outside of these walls, they're going to go here, and then they're just going to path around. Your archer queen might shoot in and do some stupid shit, but that's unavoidable. You just got to wear those because her game mechanics are awful, and Supercell sucks for making her so bad. But whatever. There are just this is the trail. This is the trail that your troops are going to follow. Army camps, so you guys know, are natural funnel breaks. So what I mean by that is that if you kill an army camp and there's like an opening, within, however, 5 spaces or so, they're going to go there. I mean, this is the equivalent of, 1 building and a builder hut's worth of stuff. So if you kill one of these, you basically are you're breaking the funnel more efficiently because it takes 1 or 2 shots from a wizard, and then they can move on, and it's as if they killed a builder's hut and a regular building, if that makes sense. So they're natural funnel breaks in that sense. Additionally, when there are two buildings next to each other like this, or only one space apart, like this is up here, if you destroy this and drop your troops here, they aren't going to go this way, they're going to go this way. Okay? And that is the funneling I use most often. I just call it self-funneling because your hero, your king in this case, and your wizards, they funnel themselves. So once you make a break, you just have to make sure the pathing of your troops, they're going to go where you want to, or where you want them to, okay? So I'll show you what Chang does. It's a quick raid because it fails pretty quick. No offense, Changzi. And then I'll just kind of explain real quick what he could have done differently. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward. You can see he's bringing some loons up top. He drops a hog too. He wants to make sure they don't have any balloons or anything in there. Gets the full lure, no problem. Gets the mortar. Great. Here I would have brought an archer because that would have been out of range of the cannon, but he either forgot one or didn't want one or whatever, so that's fine. He could have also brought a minion and placed it right here. And there's the closest, air defense is this or this or this, but they're not going to reach that minion. So it's another trick if you want to drop a minion when there are only cannons. That's an easy way to pull clan castle troops out. Actually, minions are very interesting because, if you dropped a minion here, the witch and the archers would come out, but the witch's spawned skellies would just stay back. They would just stay here. So, she's coming out, but as she spawns skellies, they would just stick around because they can't hit a minion, because it's a flying unit. Basically, that's an easy way for Town Hall 8s and lower Town Hall 7s, for you guys to get that witch kill, is to pull her out by herself. You just can't forget to take out the skellies later, but that's just an extra little tip. So he pulls them out. Wish he would have had an archer, but it's fine. That mortar up top, as I was talking about earlier, splash damage, it's killing him. Taking out his skellies one splash at a time. He does okay, actually. Gets the whole kill here. And I like the early drop of the golems because he knows this is taken care of. He knows that's done. So he dropped the golems. Here's his bombers. I wish he would have dropped the golems a little bit down here, but it doesn't, it literally doesn't matter. You can see he put a loon down here for this cannon, and that was just to make sure if his golems ended up going here, that they would stay and trip all of these bombs. So he's just trying to plan for any possibility of travel that his golems make once they're inside the base. So here we go. You'll see it happen. You can see right there, he drops his Wizzy. Okay, right here. There's his Wizzy. But what's that? If his hole is here, his bombers just made that hole. His Wizzy's going to kill this. And maybe go here, maybe go here. I'm not sure. I think it's probably going to go there. But, if he drops his king here and then here, great. But if these golems take out this cannon or something, the king's going to bounce. So, I'll just play it and let you guys watch so you can see what happens. He drops another Wizzy down here, seeing that, oh shit, I'm not going to get this, and my golems are going to be dead by the time, I get my king down, so I got to fucking hurry this up. So he drops that other Wizzy for good measure. It gets taken out, but this Wizzy starts killing this, okay? And that was the fatal mistake, is that they've now killed the cannon. This Wizzy has killed 2 buildings in front of the hole, and just watch the Barbarian King. The closest building now is this. So that's his whole raid. His whole raid's done. It's over. His queen's over here playing patty cake because who the fuck knows what she ever does. And this king just is going to follow a line of trash buildings around until he dies. All because Chang didn't break a funnel, which is right here. And that cost him his raid. I'll fast forward a little and you can see kind of what's going on. Brings in his hogs anyway, because what else can you do at this point? You realize you're not getting the queen kill. You just kind of got to roll with it and go. And so, keep in mind, had his golems got in here, had his king got in here and started beating up on stuff, had the wizards followed him in, this all would have been dead. All these things, these defenses the hogs are going for, they would have been gone. Just keep that in mind. They're going down, blah, 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 blah. Everything's blowing up around him. And he does a pretty good job of keeping him healed. He had to burn all of his heals really quick. And he nearly got the 1 star, but, Yeah, guys, funneling's important. I think there was another one. I remember Tyler saying something like right off the bat about like, oh shit, I had a lazy funnel, so I'm gonna look for that attack, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if that's actually. I Oh yeah, it's the same base. Is it? Fuck, you fuckers. Kyle does something different down here. So he drops his loons, but can you see how these wizard towers are recessed by one space right here and right here? He's trying to drop his balloons across to go on this cannon, on this wizard tower, on this wizard tower, and then these loons would go here. Ideally, these loons would go here. These loons would go here, right? And he'd get that whole bottom section for nothing. When he drops his golems, they'd go around instead of going through all this nonsense, right? But anything that's recessed a space like this, and if there is within like two spaces a defense that is not recessed, your balloons or hogs will go for the not recessed defense. So in this case, the closest one is the cannon. Okay, had he dropped the loons like a little further out here, they just would have gone for this wizard tower. So there's nothing. I just don't think he knew that. They're just recessed a bit. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're dropping hogs or loons, they will not path to recessed buildings. It sucks, but it's what it is. So he now has a shit ton of over damage on these defenses, and they're all bunching up, and they're bunching up around wizard towers, which is like the worst possible scenario because they just will die in mass, So he actually gets 4 defenses for the price of 8 loons or so. So that's not a terrible trade, honestly. It worked out okay for him, and he still picks up the lure in another defense here. He just had to burn through 4 hogs, which was his back end plan, I think. So here, zoom in a little bit and kind of see what's going on down here. Drops all that good stuff, witches, Barch, everything's getting the lure. But just okay. So watch what's going to happen here. You can already tell that this is going to be a problem unless he breaks the funnel out here. Let me zoom out so you can see what's going on. So his troops are killing everything here. They're going to work from the center and they're going to move out, right? His plan is to drop golems in, have them path through, and attack that way. But he can't create a funnel unless he drops stuff out here and lets them work their way in, because all these buildings are so close together and there's defenses close enough that they can shoot them. You have to either start here or here and let them work around, which you'll see. So Tyler does he said it himself, he kind of did a half-assed job about it. You can see his kill squad is not doing great. No, it's doing okay. Drops his golems, bombers to follow. Good. One thing I want to say actually about that is that he drops his golems here. Bombers followed the exact same path immediately after the golems. That is not a good thing to practice. That's bad. You want to, like what Chang did on this base, one thing he improved upon. Tyler got through the walls just fine. Okay, so no problem there. He got it in between wizard shots. But if wizard towers shoot relatively quickly, and if you drop your bombers right on your golem and it's in range of a wizard, that wizard tower is 9 times out of 10 gonna shit on your bombers, and that alone might fuck your whole raid. It's those little tiny things. So it would have been great if he had dropped golems and then maybe dropped golems a little further out and then bombed over here. Drop golem a little further out and let them bomb in and just let them move in themselves. That guarantees that your bombers survive. So that's just this is a little tip. You can see that he's starting to drop his wee inside this little square. But his kill squad's going to break off and kill all that shit anyway. And then look at what the closest buildings are from here, and from here. It's this. It's this whole trail of trash. So you can As soon as he's doing this, like you can kind of see the problem. Like, look at this group of wizards. Look at this group of wizards. That wizard tower goes down, so they just start fucking following the trash. All of this stuff, king included, following the trash. You guys got to break funnels, and Tyler knows this, so he knows I'm not picking on him, but you got to break funnels from the outside in. You cannot start from the inside and expect it to work and like break it on the fly. You have to break it. You got to go from the outside and break in, or else it's just not going to work. None of this like halfway down the trail of trash, let's try to break one 3-space building, because that just doesn't give your guys enough leeway. It either has to be an army camp that you break. Like if there was an army camp here, no problem. Go ahead and break that, and your guys are going to stop and then go in. But because it's not, because they're just regular 3-square buildings, they're going to follow them because the space just isn't big enough. The next thing, generally, like let's say the first 3-square building is a defense on the inside of the wall. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and the next one can't be any closer than that. So you're automatically going to follow the trail of trash. So you have to break more than one building, and it's better to do it from the outside. And like imagine this. So Tyler, he dropped his king here with his stuff, and it just followed here. He was hoping it was going to bounce in and follow his queen. It didn't. Had he dropped that same king, had he dropped a wizard here, killed this, and dropped that same king right here, that king would have followed the trail of trash right into the base. Let them funnel themselves. It's no use, if you think you have to burn 2 wizards, there's an easier way. There's not always, but in this case there was. So just funneling, guys, funneling 101. I fail at it sometimes too. It's not always easy. Sometimes bases are super, super hard, but when a base has a line like this, and it's got a clear beginning and end, it ends here on both sides. So worst case scenario, if you start here, you're going to end in the middle, right? So it's just, the funneling, you have to think about funnel pathing just as you think about hog pathing or anything else, because it's just as important in the raid. So, okay, a few tips about funneling. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you soon.